agreement is signed to finance the Gulf electricity interconnection with the Sultanate of Oman at a cost exceeding 192 million Omani riyals. The Sultanate of Oman and Russia explore ways to enhance cooperation and review the joint work plan with the Gulf Cooperation Council countries during the 8th ministerial meeting in the Russian city of Sochi. The UN Security Council condemns the Israeli attack on Doha and affirms its support for Qatar's sovereignty and territorial integrity as Gaza is witnessing an unprecedented escalation in Israeli bombing amid worsening humanitarian conditions. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The GCC Interconnection Authority signed a financing agreement to support the implementation of the direct electricity interconnection project between its network and the Sultanate of Oman. More details coming up.
In a strategic step to boost regional energy security and expand opportunities for electricity trade, the GCC Interconnection Authority signed a financing agreement worth more than 192 million Omani riyals. The deal supports the implementation of the direct electricity interconnection project between the GCC Interconnection Authority grid and the Sultanate of Oman.
This project is a milestone, a critical milestone to integrate the GCC grid. It will definitely increase the probability of trade because this is going to connect directly the Oman grid to the GCC network. It will enhance Oman's position as a center of trade for energy, and it will enhance our position in the country to be able to increase renewable penetration within the grid.
The project will connect Ibri in Oman with Al-Sila in the United Arab Emirates, supported by advanced substations equipped with modern control and stability systems, and designed to transfer up to 1,600 megawatts of power.
There are three main components of this project. We have two 400 kV substations. One is in Ibri, and the other one is in Bainouna, which is the middle station. And we have long overhead lines, about 530 kilometers of overhead lines that will be connecting GCCIA Sila station in UAE, which will be the connecting point for the interconnection with Ibri station in Oman.
It is mainly financing a main infrastructure to connect the electricity between all GCCs, which will increase the efficiency in producing electricity and consume them, and targeting the electricity or directing the electricity to the right resources, which will increase the FDI because all the GCC will have more surplus of electricity and better distribution, which will attract more FDI to the region.
The interconnection is expected to cut fuel and operating costs, enable direct electricity trade, and reduce carbon emissions. It underscores Oman's and the GCC's commitment to cleaner, more integrated power systems that match global sustainability goals. This regional milestone marks a significant step towards a future where Gulf energy systems operate seamlessly, delivering enhanced security, efficiency, and sustainability. Reporting from Muscat, this is Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Hashil al-Muslahi, Undersecretary of the Foreign Ministry for Administrative and Financial Affairs, met with His Excellency Sergei Vershinin, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. They discussed aspects of cooperation between the Sultanate of Oman and the Russian Federation and ways to enhance them. This came as part of His Excellency the Undersecretary's participation in the 8th Joint Ministerial Meeting between the Foreign Ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries and the Foreign Minister of the Russian Federation held in Sochi. The meeting also addressed ongoing preparations for the Arab-Russian Summit, which Russia is scheduled to host next October. The Sultanate of Oman participated in the 8th ministerial meeting between the foreign ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries and His Excellency Sergei Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, which was held in the Russian city of Sochi. During the meeting, the two sides reviewed relations between the GCC countries and the Russian Federation and ways to strengthen them in various fields. They also discussed the joint action plan between the GCC and Russia, in addition to exchanging views on a number of regional and international issues. The UN Security Council, during an emergency session in New York, condemned the Israeli strikes that targeted the Qatari capital, Doha, last Tuesday. The session was attended by the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani. Security Council member states, including the United States, expressed their condemnation of the recent strikes on Doha, a pivotal mediator in efforts to reach a truce in the Gaza Strip, affirming their support for Qatar's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Council members stressed the importance of de-escalation in the region, affirming Qatar's vital role alongside Egypt and the United States in mediation efforts to achieve peace.
Preserving the integrity.
Israeli strikes killed at least 40 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip today, most of them in Gaza City, where many residents are still staying put despite Israeli evacuation orders because they have nowhere safe to go. Medical sources said 14 civilians were killed in a single strikes on a house in the At-Tuam area in the north of the city. The UN and many foreign governments, including those of countries traditionally allied with Israel, have condemned the Gaza City evacuation order, called for a ceasefire, and sharply criticized conditions in the humanitarian zone. Israel's military assault on Gaza has killed more than 64,000 people, mostly civilians, caused a hunger crisis and wider humanitarian disaster, and reduced much of the enclave to rubble. The territory's health ministry has said at least 411 people, including 142 children, have died of malnutrition and starvation in the enclave. The French President Emmanuel Macron said his country will deploy 3 Rafale fighter jets to help Poland protect its airspace after a drone incursion this week. The French president made clear that the security of the European continent is on the top priority for Paris, while stressing that NATO countries will not submit to what he described as Russia's increasing intimidation. For its part, Germany also announced measures to strengthen Poland's air defenses by doubling the number of its fighter jets in Poland to 4. This came on the eve of an emergency session of the UN Security Council today at Warsaw's request, following violations of its airspace by drones it claimed were Russian, a claim Moscow denied. Still to come in our news bulletin. The 4th Dhofar Military Orthopedic Conference 2025 reviews the latest medical developments in orthopedic surgery. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Military and Security Medical City organized the 4th Dhofar Military Orthopedic Conference 2025. A number of experts from inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman took part in the conference, presenting papers and research showcasing the latest technology in orthopedics, diagnosis, and treatment of war injuries. The conference featured a number of lectures and discussion sessions among participants, aiming to exchange expertise, knowledge, and emerging research in orthopedic surgery in a way to uplift the level of national medical efficiency. The conference was held under the auspices of His Excellency Engineer Uday bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Military and Security Medical City. A three-day symposium titled Readings in the Thought of Sheikh Sulaiman bin Nasser al-Lemki concluded at Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque Hall. The event was held under the auspices of Dr. Sheikh Kahlan bin Nabhan al-Kharousi, Assistant Grand Mufti of the Sultanate of Oman. The event shed light on the life and intellectual contribution of one of Oman's most prominent early 20th century scholars. More details coming up.
Gathering that bridged history and intellectual heritage concluded in Muscat, as the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, represented by the Literary Forum, wrapped up the two-day scientific symposium, Readings in the Thought of Sheikh Sulaiman bin Nasser al-Lemki. The two-day event brought together researchers and scholars who shed light on the life, legacy and intellectual contributions of Sheikh al-Lemki 1862 to 1943, one of the most prominent early 20th century figures.
The Ministry of Culture, Sport and Youth is committed to promoting Omani culture through seminars and various cultural activities. The seminars on Sheikh Sulaiman bin Nasser al-Lemki forms part of the effort shedding light on his life and legacy not only in Oman but also across the wider world, including East Africa.
Discussions explored his upbringing, academic journey and historical role in guiding society. The symposium is part of the Literary Forum's project, Readings in the Thought of Scholars, which seeks to preserve the heritage of Omani thinkers for future generations. In a heartfelt address, Mohammed bin Ahmed al-Lemki, speaking on behalf of the family, expressed gratitude for the ministry's efforts in honoring his grandfather's legacy.
Sincerely thank everyone who joined the symposium honoring our great-grandfather Sheikh Sulaiman bin Nasser al-Lemki. His legacy in education, culture, and national affairs continues to inspire us. In line with Oman Vision 2040, we pledge to preserve his values and proudly carry his mission forward.
The symposium reflects Oman's ongoing commitment to reviving the achievements of its scholars, strengthening identity, enriching culture, and aligning with the vision of a proud and forward-looking Oman. With this symposium, Oman not only celebrated the legacy of Sheikh Sulaiman al-Lemki, but also reaffirmed its commitment to preserving heritage, strengthening identity, and passing on the wisdom of its scholars to future generations. A vision in harmony with Oman Vision 2040. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Sultanate of Oman's embassy in Seoul has opened a photography exhibition titled Beautiful Oman in cooperation with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth and the Omani Society for Fine Arts. The event was inaugurated by His Excellency Zakaria bin Hamad al-Saadi, Omani ambassador to South Korea. More details coming up.
A photography exhibition titled Beautiful Oman opened at the Sejong Center for the Arts in Seoul. The event runs for 5 days and presents 50 photographs by 28 Omani photographers, several of whom have received international awards. The exhibition features images of Oman's landscapes, cultural heritage, and artistic traditions, offering visitors a comprehensive view of the country's natural and human diversity. A documentary book was also released, providing brief explanations for each photograph and listing the participating photographers. The publication aims to give the Korean public a closer look at Oman's cultural and artistic achievements. The exhibition has attracted wide attention from photography enthusiasts, cultural figures, and the general public, providing an opportunity for South Koreans to learn more about Oman and its people.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we wrap up tonight's bulletin, here's a recap of our main headlines. An agreement is signed to finance the Gulf electricity interconnection with the Sultanate of Oman at a cost exceeding 192 million Omani riyals. The Sultanate of Oman and Russia explore ways to enhance cooperation and review the joint work plan for the Gulf Cooperation Council countries during the 8th ministerial meeting in the Russian city of Sochi. And the UN Security Council condemns the Israeli attack on Doha and affirms its support for Qatar's sovereignty and territorial integrity as Gaza is witnessing an unprecedented escalation in Israeli bombing amid worsening humanitarian conditions. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. For more news and updates, catch us on our next broadcast. Thank you for watching and good night.